You subscribe to my channel, you've got to now. Abby says I'm a favourite coach as well, so she's got to do it for me. No,
just trying to separate
no
and kill each other.
They're just a bit older and I haven't created them.
Yeah.
Guys, welcome. My name's Dave Maskell, our owner of DAZN Boxing. We run some classes out of a gym called the Fire Hub in Tamworth. So come down and see us whenever you can. With me, I've got one of our regular fighters from there, Steve Salt, affectionately known as Salty. We're going to talk today around about the Rocky VS Canelo fight. Tomorrow night, it's being shown live on DAZN for America, and it's free to air. I think it is on DAZN actually, and Sky Sports. It's probably going to be around about 2 o'clock in the morning. I think the card starts, so it's going to be a pretty late one. So if you want to stop and watch it, if you're in the UK, if you're in America, well done, prime time. There you go.
Yeah, lucky gits.
So let's talk about it. Rocky, Canelo. Steve, what's your thoughts?
Oh, it's good. I'm looking forward to it. Step up for Canelo, new weight.
Yeah.
Rocky's going to be an interesting fight. There's many good talking points on either side, so
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to go and touch a few now with the tail of the tape.
Tail of the tape. Let's go to the tail of the tape. So, age-wise, Canelo's 28. Rocky was 31. We've had Canelo at 53 fights, which is huge, with Rocky Fielding at 28. Canelo has won 50 of them 53 fights, with Rocky only winning 27, it was 28. So there's one loss there for Rocky, but Canelo got 2 draws, 1 loss against it. So, round percentage on the pair of them, so 376 rounds Canelo's fought in his life, throughout his career, and 128 rounds for Rocky Fielding throughout his pro career. The main thing I think for the tail of the tape that's going to come in is the height. Canelo's 5'8", Rocky's 6'1".
Yeah, he's an advantage to Rocky, but it doesn't really mean a lot sometimes in fights. You know what I mean? It really depends. Like obviously we fighting styles make fights, so it's going to be an interesting one. Rocky needs to make sure he works on that jab, gets off on and moves away from it. He needs to keep Canelo on the end of the jab and try not to let Canelo get to that body.
Let's talk about Canelo then. So we're on to Canelo now. He's coming in as the WBA Super and the WBC middleweight champ. He's coming in, weighed in today, earlier this afternoon, for UK time, 167.4 pounds. So it's just under the £170 limit. Ring Magazine middleweight champion as well, so he's ranked quite highly by the Ring Magazine in terms of the middleweight division. Super middleweight, he is not ranked yet. Last 4 fights, so he's fought GGG twice, we know that. Yep. The first one, controversial draw. Second one, he secured the championship. He's took GGG's belts off him, which nobody's been able to do up until that point. Yep. Previous to the draw, he's fought Julio Cesar Chavez. He won that in a unanimous decision, and then he's back down another weight at super welterweight. Fought Liam Smith, won WBO super welterweight championship there. So he's got another belt at a different weight. He's won there, KO round 9. Although Liam Smith did put a battle up, and we know that the last real loss that he put on him was Floyd Mayweather, which
not a bad thing.
No, absolutely, I'd set that. So super welterweight, 12-round decision loss there. Canelo, beast, running through the weights, isn't he?
Yeah, he's that typical Mexican where he's thoroughbred through the weight divisions, putting the weight on as he goes through, and most of the time decimating the divisions like Chavez did against many other Mexican boxers.
Yeah,
so.
I think when I think of Canelo, I have to think, when he was talking about going through the weights, I have to think of Sugar Ray Leonard. He's moved from welterweight all the way up to light heavy. He's kind of took that. He's took championships on the way through. He's had some Hall of Fame fights, same as Canelo has.
That legacy in it.
Yeah, and I think that's what he's after now. I think he's after that legacy. I think he's looking for it.
Yeah, and with the record that he's got, bar the losses, I mean, he's on par with Mayweather. Mayweather's finished and he's 28, so he's got many years ahead of him. Now he could go and smash more divisions, more weights. big question is, can he handle the extra weight going up?
And that is the question. And when we're talking about that extra weight, we're looking in the super middleweight division. It's an area that Rocky Fielding has campaigned in throughout his entire pro career.
Yeah.
He's not moved that fights, he's not moved up or anything down. He's coming in now as WBA super middleweight champ. He's come in today weight wise 167.6 pounds, so 0.6 of a pound, 0.2 of a pound over, so 2 ounces over where Canelo's weighed in. Yep. He's ranked 7th by Ring Magazine. Last 4 fights, so his last 4 fights, I suppose you could say questionable. Most recent fought Tyrone Zoe, so he's won that. He's gone over to Germany. He's won the title. He's fought a guy that's got 23 wins, 1 loss, and he's got a 5-round stoppage over it. The problem is with Tyrone, he's not ranked in Ring Magazine's top 10. Even after he's just lost the title, he held that title for 2 years, and the Ring Magazine haven't ranked him. And then we look back on the rest of his fights. So he's fought Karol Husak, 13 wins, 10 losses, 3 draws. You could arguably say potentially a journeyman. That was only an 8-round fight that Rocky didn't do the job on. He finished it in points.
Yeah.
David Brophy, yeah, he's a go-to fighter, he's a good fighter. But last notable fight that David Brophy fought was George Groves. Lost round 4, got knocked out. That was for the WBA title, international title. But Rocky's got in there and knocked him out in round 1 for the British and Commonwealth.
Yes.
And then the 4th fight, the last 4 fights, John Ryder. Now John Ryder is a game opponent. John Ryder is a tough guy, and he comes in there. John Ryder's last notable fight was Jamie Cox. So after he got beat by Rocky, he went and fought Jamie Cox and got a decent win there. And that was a great win. That was I don't know if you remember that fight. That was on the World Boxing Series.
Yes,
so
yes, that was,
it was absolutely fantastic. He's campaigned his full career at super middleweight, as we said, but his last notable loss was Callum Smith. Last notable loss was Callum Smith. So he stepped up. This is the WBA super middleweight champ, and he stepped up and lost in round 1 against Callum Smith, completely knocked out.
Yeah. And
that was for the British title, so it was a while ago now.
Yeah, so it's a step up for Rocky, that shadow there against Canelo, I'd say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So can he handle the pressure? Can he implement his game plan on the fight and then be disciplined with it? I think if he starts getting a little bit sloppy, thinking that he could maybe knock out Canelo possibly, I think it will give him a bit more, be acceptable to the counter. And where Canelo's good at, he's definitely good at the counter, and he is a good reader, and especially having the ranks and experience that he's got, I think that's going to be a telling point.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so let's talk about the undercard. The undercard for the fight, it's looking pretty stacked. There's a lot of American guys on there. One of the ones I want to talk about, it's actually been stripped from the card today, because he's been took to hospital, so David Lemieux. So he's trying to make the middleweight weight again. He's coming in, I think he's campaigned most of his career at middleweight. He's come in, he's been rushed to hospital because he's dehydrated, can't make the weight. It's dangerous. It's a dangerous game.
Yeah.
Dangerous game.
Yeah.
So weight cut is.
Yeah.
I mean, we are in an MMA gym. We work around MMA fighters. We see weight cuts a lot. We weight cut. I don't necessarily weight cut, but I know you guys weight cut for the fights.
I think
to that point of putting yourself into a position where you're going to go to hospital.
Yeah, it's one of those. A lot of these people who do it full time, obviously it's their job, it's their livelihood. You know what I mean? They've probably trained 8-12 weeks. You know what I mean? They put everything in it, and it's down to the weigh-in. Sometimes weight cuts go well, some don't. You know what I mean? It all depends. Everyone has different aspects of weight cutting. Like MMA, they normally completely try and dehydrate 24 hours before. Where boxing, I'd probably say you taper down, where you weight it your heaviest and you put work down and taper down. That's what I personally do. I don't like to dehydrate myself. But if worst case scenario came and it was a massive payday and I'm fighting Canelo next week, if someone pulled out, I'm making that way.
Yeah. No, I mean, I get it when you've got fights like that. But I mean, David Lemieux, he was fighting. It looked like kind of a bit of a warm-up fight, moving into kind of titles and getting back to where he was when he fought Billy Joe, when he fought Golovkin, kind of those type of fights.
Yeah.
And I don't know, from mine as a coach, it's not something I want to see my fighters go through. I don't want to see them dehydrated. I want to see them kind of making sure that they've got that intake of water. I get the day before the weigh-in, you know you're gonna dehydrate yourself to an extent to make the weight, because the weights are quite stringent, especially at pro level as well. So I understand that, and I understand that the intake of water needs to be quite loose.
And same obviously for being a world title fight, you've got to make championship weight. I mean, you can't be over.
Yeah, absolutely.
If not, you're not getting that title shot.
But yeah, I mean, I hope David Lemieux's all right. I wish all my best to him.
Of course, yeah. Over the years, I mean, there's probably not as much as boxing, and probably more MMA. There's been some quite dangerous weight cuts around the world. It's not nice to see, but it's part of the sport, unfortunately. Hopefully he's all right. Hopefully he can come back and have another crack. Hopefully he should do. So all the best for him, really. It's a shame. It's been a really good fight to watch as well. You know what I mean? You really would have.
So let's look at Katie Taylor. Katie Taylor, and I'm coming more from a UK perspective on this one. So Katie Taylor is fighting. She's from Brain Island, cracking place. I've been there. It's lovely. She's fighting. She's coming in. I mean, let's have a look at her. Let's have a look at how she's kind of done so far. So she's coming in as 22 wins. She's working IBF and WBA lightweight title. She's working at. She's retaining that. She's continuously holding it. She's lost a fight, She fought Kimberly Connor quite recently. She's a respectable record of 13 wins, 4 losses and 3 draws. Third round stoppage by Katie Taylor. She's also fought Cindy Serrano. She's got a record of 27 wins, 6 losses and 3 draws. Katie Taylor, 10 round points. Can she be stopped? Can somebody get in there? Can she?
It's going to be hard. I love Katie Taylor. I love the way she boxes. You know what I mean? She's a technical boxer. She's a smart fighter. She's got power. She's got good movement. And some of the girls that she's fought already have got some really good records, and she's absolutely decimated some of them. Or if she hasn't, she's found the right way to get through the fight. She's recognised her threats, and then gone, no, I don't need to get to that point. So she's done a game plan, stuck to it, and then she came away. I personally think she'll unify the division, and then she'll move on to get that legacy.
And I'd absolutely love her to do that. I'd love to see Katie Taylor kind of unify that division, lightweight on the women's side, and then move up into a different category. You know, whether she goes up to welterweight or kind of going through there. So it'd be really nice to see Katie kind of jump through the divisions potentially, and just see that aspect of her. I think from a coach's point of view, I can see how sharp she is unreal. She's so tight when she's coming forward. She holds the punches in. Her counter punching is fantastic. She stalks her opponents so well. I mean, she pushes really far into her opponents. She doesn't give them an inch. She keeps moving. She cuts that space down very quickly. I mean, she reminds me a lot, a kind of variation of Lomachenko and Golovkin. The way she stalks, her angles that she gets in, she's very kind of on it, and I genuinely think she'll be one of the greats. She'll go down in Hall of Fame without
we're very blessed at the minute, having quite a good UK-based ladies at the minute who are doing really well.
Absolutely.
And Katie Taylor is definitely one, or not the best out of that group. Fantastic boxer. She reads the situation well. I think she reads her opponent extremely well. And then obviously she can push that, and especially she's got the cardio, she's got the power, the speed, so she can push the issue. And a lot of the girls just could not cope with what she's got.
No, absolutely agree. Okay, right, so here we are now. What has Rocky Fielding got to do to beat Canelo Alvarez? Talk to me.
Fight smart. He's a taller bloke. He's a taller fighter in this fight, so he needs to stick to keeping on that jab, keeping Canelo as far as on the edge of that jab as possible, and trying to move away. Canelo's going to try and bridge that gap, try and put him under a bit of pressure, especially with the experience that Canelo has. I think he'll try and put him under a bit of pressure and see what Rocky does and see what he goes from there. If he's going to try and make it an inside fight, which I don't think he should, even though he has got that in his locker, I think he needs to make sure he keeps Canelo on that end of the jab and try and outbox him, which is going to be hard against Canelo because he's got the experience, he's got power, he's got good movement, and he's got the fight IQ, and the fact that Rocky's moving up a calibre of fighter, I think, against Canelo. Yes, he's a more natural at his weight category where Canelo's coming up, which is a good advantage for him. But he needs to try and make that pay by getting their jabs out, make sure he's on the edge of the jab, and to keep moving, try and be a clever fighter.
I agree on that aspect. I think Rocky, in my opinion, asked exactly what Steve says. He's got to stay on that jab. He's got to stay on the outside. I think if he starts kind of working into the positions that he does. For a tall fighter, he likes the inside. He likes to go on the inside quite a lot, and you'll see from some of his previous fights, he'll catch that counter punch. He'll come through with that uppercut. He loves that uppercut. You see him train it regularly with Jamie Moore, and he kind of works in. I think the advantages that Rocky has got from this is a couple really. He's tall, 6'1". He's got that reach advantage. He's going to struggle. Canelo's going to struggle to get past that. If he can constantly keep that reach out, I think he's going to struggle to get past it. Not saying that Canelo can't get past it. I'm just saying he's going to struggle. It's going to make for a difficult fight. It'll be an awkward fight for him. Second to that, he's campaigning at super middleweight all of his pro career. He's not fluctuating in weight, so he's quite comfortable at the weight he's currently at. So he should naturally carry the strength. And on top of that as well, he's moved trainers. He's from Oval Mackenzie. I think he's a great trainer. He's come in and he's started training with Jamie Moore now. Jamie Moore is, you know, he's a British great. He lives in the memory of everybody, and he's a fantastic trainer. You see him come through with a lot of the fighters. He's currently training Carl Frampton as well, and you know he's got a great relationship with a lot of his fighters, and he's smart. He reads boxing well, and I think if Rocky can do it, he's in the right position now to do it with the people he's got around him. I think if he's going to do it, it's going to be now or never.
I think this is the fight where I wouldn't say make or break him, because obviously he's campaigned well at that weight category. But I think if he has a great performance against Canelo, or even a win against Canelo, people will look at that and go, that's a performance. Because he's going to have to be on his A game to try and get any type of result.
Absolutely. Canelo, what's Canelo need to do to win?
Use his smarts. He's got more experience over Rocky, so I think the main concerns for Canelo was he's moving up a weight, trying to see how heavy Rocky's going to punch against Canelo. I think if he figures that puzzle out and he knows the power's not going to trouble him as much, I think he will go Mexican. He'll try and get on the inside as much as possible, try and be bullying tactics to try and put him under a bit of pressure, see where if he makes mistakes or if he's trying to get a bit flustered. You know what I mean? So, bridge the gap, try and get inside that guard, trying to get inside to the body.
I agree.
And go from there.
I agree. I think Canelo has to bully him. He has to be the aggressor on this fight. He can't sit back and wait for Rocky to come forward. He's going to have to chase him down. He's going to have to cut the ring off. He's going to have to be, as you said, the aggressor. He's going to have to start working forward. And he's going to have to try and take some of the advantages away from Rocky, i.e. the fact that he campaigned it that way, he's natural at that way. The fact that he's got the reach, Canelo's going to have to take that all away from him. But if there was a fighter to be able to do something like that against a fighter like Rocky, Canelo's the one. Canelo's got the experience, over 200 rounds extra in the bank compared to Rocky. Rocky's got 28 fights against Canelo's 53. It's huge advantages for Canelo as well, and I think we overlook that.
It's experience, isn't it? You know?
Prediction, Steve. Let's end it on a prediction. Go.
As much as I like Rocky, I think it's going to be an interesting fight. The underdog story is always good, you know what I mean? And styles make fights, so I think my boxing mind will favour Canelo due to the fact that I think he's got the experience, and I think that will pay dividends later on in the rounds. I think he'll wait and see what Rocky does for the first 3-4, and then he'll just push. So I think round about the 9th round, I think he'll get a TKO victory.
Okay. Good. I think Rocky's going to come in, as you say, I think he's going to come on that jab. I think my heart wants Rocky to get this. From being a British fan, being a British, he's a British fighter going over there, going to America, trying to take something back. I would love, more than anything, and people know me, people that are watching this now that know me, know I love an underdog story, and know I like to live the fight dream. I want Rocky to win. My heart screams Rocky. So I'd see it as Rocky Fielding, points win over Canelo Alvarez, Madison Square Garden, New York, everybody screaming Rocky, Rocky, Rocky at the end of the fight. Just like in the films, I would absolutely love that, I'd adore it. My boxing brain, I think Canelo's going to do him in 5. I think it's going to be a knockout, and I think it's going to be a heavy knockout as well. I think Canelo is just what he is. He's a beast at that weight.
He is.
Rocky's susceptible to being knocked out. Yes, he's been knocked out by Callum Smith, but he's a heavy puncher. Canelo's a heavy puncher. He gets caught, he could be over quick. think 5 rounds, I think, gives us our limit.
I'll give Rocky a little bit more. I think he'll stick around a little bit more. I think he's going to be a durable fighter. It's going to be an interesting one. I think it's going to be quite a tactical one for the first couple of rounds. See if Canelo can gauge the power of Rocky. I think the second he thinks he's comfortable with that or he's figured the puzzle out, I think that's when he'll start pushing the issue. And about round 9, I think.
Okay, so we know it's going to be an interesting fight. We're supporting Rocky Fielding all the way from a British perspective. We hope he does it. We hope everybody's screaming, chanting Rocky at the end of the fight. But who knows? We'll see what comes out of it. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for listening. Please hit the subscribe button. Follow us for more videos. We've got them coming soon. You want class sessions? Just keep moving for us. Just keep following us. Facebook, Instagram. We're on there. DM Boxing. Come looking for us. You'll see us there. Okay. Until next time. Keep with us. We'll see you soon. Look at this. Oh yeah. It might be YouTube famous.